Welcome, bienvenidos to this video of the last quarterfinals of the Gold Cup 2021 between USA and Jamaica. The winner of this match will face the Asian Cup champions, which is Qatar. In this video, you are going to see myself focusing on the analysis of the US men's national team, looking to the options that the coaching staff has to face Jamaica, and I will be elaborating on the options when it comes to personnel formation and system that I think the coaching staff is going to select for this crucial, important game. So let's go to the analysis of the US men's national team and what I think it might be the best option to face this Jamaica national team. First, very quickly, let's mention something about this Jamaica national team. As you can see in the board, we can think that Jamaica, based on what they have done in the first 3 games, which they haven't changed at all, even depending on the opponent, they are gonna sit in a mid block. Ideally, they wanna be very narrow, but especially very short, and they are gonna be awaiting for the opponent. Again, this is something they have done even against weaker teams as Suriname and Guadeloupe, with all the respect. So this is also what we think they are going to do versus US men's national team. And then, they try to basically close down the middle. So many times their wingers are trying to eliminate the passing lanes. So the option in the middle, so the option for the US men's national team clearly is going to be on the outsides. That is what the opponent gives you. That's probably what the US men's national team is going to get. Jamaica wants to get the ball in here and then quickly counterattack. Just to simplify a lot, because our system in this case is focused on what US men's national team might do or can do in this case. So US men's national team, considering this, I think this is a team, Jamaica, that it's close next to, similar in a way to IT. So let's imagine and remember what US men's national team was doing versus IT. So basically, US men's national team was creating a structure like this. Let's see. Yeah. So here we have the mid block of Jamaica established, and here we have a sort of 1, because we must include the goalkeeper, 2, 3, and 5. As you can see, of course, the wingers are the so-considered fullbacks that are just giving all the wide areas and occupying all the wide areas. So with this structure, who might be the personnel that fits better, that Greg Berhalter and the coaching staff is going to choose? So by mentioning the names of these players that I think might be the ones selected, I'm going to mention some of the options as well and why that's the case. So considering the reduced number of center backs that the team has, I would say that James Sands is going to be the right center back and Robinson the left center back. The best 1v1 defender, the best running to his goal because of the speed. I would say he is going to be there for sure. The number 6 is a difficult position to guess. I think it's gonna be between Jewel and Bushio, depending on what the coaches are looking for. If the coaches are looking for some balls that have to do with more distance, the chosen might be Jewel. Another element that is very important is that Jamaica sometimes goes long more often than other teams. So who is the one that can help you most to win those area balls? It's going to be Jewel, it's going to be Bushio, it's going to be Acosta. So that's a little bit open. Number 8, it's also a little bit open. It's between Acosta, it's between Bushio, or between Williamson, Roldan. This is an open position. I will say because of experience, the U.S. men's national team might go with Kelly Acosta. And then Leggett, which is a fix, it's always selected. It just has his spot over there, number 10. Bynes on the left, Moore on the right. The position of the left is just also not clear in my opinion, but it might be that Bynes is a little bit more experienced than Bello, and that's why I think it's going to be the chosen. In the middle, Sardes, basically Berhalter said that in the press conference, and Hoppy has been playing excellent. On the left, another position that usually will be for Arriola, but in this case, in my opinion, it might be for Christian Roldan, or it might be Joaquini if what US men's national team is looking for physicality. I think Roldan gives a little bit more of options in this case. So again, we are choosing this structure because it relates a little bit to the game versus Haiti, and because it's a structure that is a little bit more trained by and utilized by the US men's national team. And we have to remember that the last game versus Canada, it was a game that it created some doubts within the team. So after a situation like that, probably you're going to come back to something that it's more well-known, more well-trained, more familiar for the group. So it's not the only option, but probably it's going to be the preferred option, because in the end this is like a 1-4-3-3, and in this case it's a 2-3-5. One thing I would like to single out when it comes to the US men's national team, that it might happen again in this game. Jamaica probably is going to be looking for forcing US men's national team to play on the left flank. Especially if Robinson is in here, or if Keller is in here, or if it's just not James Sands, they might be looking to do that. Also because, and here is the point, US men's national team usually has been operating in combinatory game through the right flank. And I will say this is what they will try to do once again. How? And this is why I selected probably here for a slight margin Kelly Acosta. He was very good on doing this combination between these three players. So if we have Acosta in here as an 8, and we have Roldan, or maybe Joaquini, Arriola if he will be fit and healthy, and then Zach Moore. This is the thing that was operating very well for the US men's national team. This combination between these three players. So if you have a player like James Sands, in the past it was Walker Zimmerman, he can play all the way because he's talent in the pass, and he can dribble forward to get some attention. Now Jamaica probably is not gonna, so it's going to force, it's going to open a little bit to force the ball in the middle, because that's where they want to recover the ball. But I don't think US is gonna put the ball in there unless it's very clear, because then you have an issue here, which in any case, if you are just playing with this structure, it might be the main issue of US men's national team, how they are gonna react, how they are gonna contain the counter-attack by Jamaica. But let's imagine that James Sands, that's another kind of decision here. So usually the ball is gonna be here to Zach Moore, and already you are creating some confusion, some complications, some decision making by the defense of Jamaica. How many players are you bringing in here? Because you have a 2v1, or because you have a 3v2, because usually you don't want to bring a center back all the way to the left flank, right? So here is the situation that US men's national team has been training very well, which is again putting very high Zach Moore, and then creating this decision making, generating these doubts in the defense of the opponents, like they did against Haiti. When Zach Moore is in here, we have here Roldan or Arriola still, and then if these players are just privileging one of these channels, that's where Kelly Acosta is very good on running and movement of the ball. That's where this is something that also Williamson could do, but this is something that usually Busio is not going to do. So if you are trying to play this way, I think it's more between Williamson and Acosta. He can run into the channel, right? If the ball is already higher and you go with the winger into the center backs and you are bringing the right back, then there is all this space for Jack Moore, and this is the situation that the U.S. men's national team is doing very well in this Gold Cup. This is where you have a player in here that can wait for the rebound. That's why Christian Roldan is a good player for that. Then you have Sardes attacking the first post, and then you have Hoppy that is like the second forward, and then on the far post you have Bynes, which is basically the first goal of U.S. men's national team in this Gold Cup. Another key element in these situations is that Kalin Acosta is one of the best counter-pressing. So you want him in the game to actually balance the team when the things are not working out well. You also want Leggett to be more centralized. That's why U.S. men's national team is playing more on the right flank. Again, let's put our pieces back. So again, this is what U.S. men's national team, I think they are going to be trying to do, still playing to their strengths on the right flank, operating with these three players plus the center back. This is a key position, and this is going to be the key element today. Who and how is going to the U.S. men's national team save this first structure in the initial third? Because Jamaica is going to allow you to have the ball up to that part of the field. So with that said, I think this is the more familiar, the more well-trained option for this group that is still very new. But the fact that U.S. men's national team played 7 days ago with 2 new players gives to Greg Berhalter and the rest of the coaching staff a lot of possibilities, and this is only one. This is the one that we think might happen, and these are some of the reasons why we think it might happen. But then it's gonna be the game in itself. It's gonna be what the coaches see on training, what is gonna ultimately make the final decision for the group. Yeah, this is our idea, again, with Matt Turner, James Sands, Miles Robinson, Bynes, Zach Moore, center mid, Jewel or Busio, Acosta, Leggett, Hoppy, Yassi Sardes, and Christian Roldan. But what if U.S. men's national team wants to be a little bit more unconventional, a little bit more transgressive, or if actually needs to be a little bit more assertive, for example, in the second half? There are other options for the U.S. men's national team, and I just want to single out one of them. Okay, maybe something that again might happen during the game in the second half, in other moments of the game, based on the score and the game situation. So here we have a different structure. It's still the same for Jamaica. It's still the 4 and 1 and 1, or the 4 and 5 and 1 in a mid block. But in this case, which is a little bit similar to what US made and the way US position against Martinique, you have a 3, a box, and a 3. So in this case, you definitely have a superiority in the center channel, both in offense and defense. Of course, both things are completely connected. So what you get with this is a more stable structure, a more balanced structure that probably help you to defend better and to get the ball back quickly, be more stable defensively overall. And I see US being able to do that, but I don't know if that's going to happen from the beginning of the game. The other element that will make this decision a little bit complex is the fact that who are you going to be these three players without Walker Zimmerman on the squad? That probably will mean that you are going to play with Henry Kessler, which can perfectly play in this back three, Kessler, Robinson, and James Sands, or Kessler in the back and Robinson and Sands, so Sands is still the creator in here. You can do that, absolutely. And then you have a lot of channels, always a couple of options with this kind of system, inside and outside. Jamaica is giving you the outside, then you play on the outside. And with this system, what you are trying to do is create huge openings for the center attacking mids, like it happened in the game versus Martinique. The question I have with this system is where US men's national team is going to put Sebastian Lletget. Usually Lletget doesn't play in this double six position. If he plays in here, is he going to be making these runs, or do you want to have another wing / center forward to help Sardes and to be more into the recipient of the crosses? So again, this is a good possibility. Maybe when it comes for the second half, you need to score. You even sub Vines and you put Hoppy as a winger, and then you put DK in the game, so you can have Hoppy as a winger, you can have Sardes in here and DK in here, and then you have here still someone like Roldan, and you have a double six with Bucio, with Williamson, or with Acosta and Bucio, and so forth. So this is a little bit more of a transgressive, I would say, call that might be utilized during the run of the game in certain situations. But I think it is a possibility that US somehow have already trained and experienced and play in this Gold Cup, and it's something to take into consideration. It just seems a little bit more complex when it comes to fit the structure and the automatisms with the personnel that the US men's national team has right now on the squad. Thank you for watching this video, and we will see who is the winner of this game, who is matching with Qatar into the semifinals, and we will continue with more analysis about this exciting Gold Cup. If you have some comments on some ideas that you want to share, please write them off the comments and do some likes if you think the video was useful for you. And as always, thank you for watching and for listening.